You know, sometimes you need a word that goes directly to your situation. If you're going through this month, if this has been a rough month, it's been a rough year so far, or some good, some ups and downs, you're right on schedule. The number 7 means completion. That's what we're in July, the 7th month, going into the 8th month, meaning new beginning. So a lot of times in life, you pay attention. God is a God of seasons, and God is a God of numbers and stuff like that, and then people say, oh, his favorite number is 7 because God is finishing up some things. So sometimes we got to trust God past what we can see, because everything in life that happens that we don't like is designed to bring us closer to God, not away from God. Understand this. Everything in life that happens that doesn't feel so good, or whatever, everything, it is an ingredient that God can use to work for your good. So we know Romans 8:28, all things work together for good for those who are called according to his purpose, for those that love him. So that means that if you love God, God has given you a promise that no matter what it is, it's all going to work out to your good. Now understand this. We know how big God is, and we know God can do this. God can just, with a snap of a finger, and the whole world can just blow up or whatever like that, or mankind can be gone, all the animals or whatever like that. But understand this. God can take anything and work it out for your good. But understand this. If God can't work it out for your good, it is not allowed to happen to you. It is not. So understand this. James 4:8, it says, draw near to God and God will draw near to you. Some people say, I heard people say it on Facebook, I wish God would just come to my house and sit down on the bed or sit down on the couch and just talk to me and tell me what to do. God can do that. He can do that. You got to spend time with God. How do you draw near to God? How do you hear more from God? Or how do you get clarity? Because sometimes we have a lot of thoughts. We want to do this, we want to do that, we want to do this, we want to do that. Before I make any decisions, like if I have to move, or I have to change jobs, or if I have to change schools for the kids, or whatever the case may be, I consult God first. So how do I do that? I read my Bible. I recommend reading the Daily Bread. You definitely like that. Proverbs. You can read Proverbs. Proverbs has a lot of wisdom there. Romans is good too, but all of them you can keep going at. But like I said, Proverbs specifically about wisdom, because it says if anybody lacks wisdom, let him ask. But, God can use people, which you still got to use discernment. God can use a television or however, anything like that. But understand this, you're right on schedule, what I'm saying? And even if the enemy is bothering you, Genesis 50:20, what the enemy meant for evil, God will turn for good. So, even those that have done you wrong on purpose, God will work that out for your good. Understand this, that those are the ingredients that God can use to make something. So I'll give you an example. So like, I'm not a cake baker. My mom can bake a cake, what I'm saying? A lot of people like her cake and everything like that. And my mom is very good and crafty about it. Like, she has the ingredients, she goes and buys them, and then she rips the labels off. So like, literally, if you go to her house, like, and there's no labels, there's probably something to go in her cake. Like, she's just like that. People always ask for her pound cake, and so but no matter what it is, God can use that ingredient in your life. And that's what we focus on. We don't have to trust God past what we can see. And sometimes it can be difficult, but you just got to trust God to say, listen, no matter what happens, anything that happens that doesn't feel so good is designed to bring you closer to God and not away from God. So watch this. Anytime I used to go back in the day, in my grandma's house or whoever, you go to your dad's or whoever, uncles, or, you had that chef or whatever the case may be. If they were cooking something and they found out that they didn't have an ingredient and they couldn't run to the store real quick or something like that, they substituted something. They said, you know what? And it still tastes good because they knew what they were doing. All right, I'm going to try this, or I'm going to try this. That's how God is when it comes to stuff that happened in our life. Like, nothing catches God by surprise. Life catches us by surprise. But no matter what it is, God is going to work it out to your good if you love him. That's a promise that he gave us. So it does not matter. God is going to work it out to your good. And it's an ingredient that God is going to use. And you might not like that ingredient. You know what I'm saying? But certain things you know what I'm saying, in life, when it happens, we need it. So like I was telling somebody, I said the only way to get wrinkles out of a shirt is to use iron. You have to use a certain amount of pressure. Now watch this. The iron has to be heated up. You can use the iron, and if you do not heat it up, it don't matter how hard you press, that the wrinkles will not come out of that shirt. So the right amount of heat has to be applied too. So once you do that, the same way we use that analogy, that is what happens with wrinkles in our life. God has to apply the right amount of pressure, and God has to heat it up. You know, that's why it says that when Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego went in the fire was not meant to burn them. It was meant to give them promotion. And also, too, with that being said, they felt the heat, but they didn't get burned. And that's how we feel in life sometimes. Life hits us and things happen. And what happens? We feel the heat. We didn't get burned, but we feel the heat. That's why I said, thinking not strange of the fiery trials that come to try you, as though some strange thing may happen. In 1 Peter 4:12. So understand this, that God is going to work everything out to your good. This is why you're right on schedule. This is why this is not coincidence that if this message is for you, it's exactly what you need. And sometimes we need to know, are we on schedule? That's why it says signs and wonders shall follow those that believe. So understand this. We need those signs. Like if you drive in a distance from New York to Chicago, at some point you will start to see signs that say, okay, Chicago, 400 something miles. Now that's a distance. But that sign lets you know that you right on schedule, or you go in the right direction. And that's how it is, you know. And even if you detour, you know, it still recalculates you, you know. And so that's how God is, because God is directing our steps, you know what I'm saying? But understand this, you know, you may have to unfollow some people, because what you want to do is you want to you want stuff that's encouraging and uplifting and stuff like that, you know, when you're going through, because you need that. You know, people call it energy. You know, talk about negative energy and stuff like that. Now, talking to somebody yesterday, he was just like, man, it's a pleasure talking to you, because every time he's like, I know where to go when I need uplifting, or I know where to go, I need a word of encouragement. And I just thank God for that, because that's just how God wired me, you know what I'm saying, to help people and stuff like that, to give them a word so that they can be like, you know what, that's exactly what I needed. Even if it's just, I'm praying for you, because just to know somebody praying for you makes you feel better. You know what I'm saying? Okay, somebody care about me. Somebody takes the time out to pray for me, or just even think about me and things like that. And that's how it is, because, you know, in this life, you know, we think that we're supposed to walk this walk by ourselves. It's not. That's why we have brothers and sisters in Christ. But understand this, when we go through things, you know, life happens. It will show you, should you be around certain people anymore? Do you need to promote them? Do you need to demote them, or whatever like that? You got to be careful, because some people, they may mean well, but at the end of the day, you know, they so we have to be careful with the people that we follow on Facebook or we listen to, and that's where we use discernment and stuff like that. But just know that even when people rain in your parade, put your umbrella up, you know, because folk gonna talk regardless, you know what I'm saying? But let folk talk. It don't matter. I was telling my cousin, you know, he said, man, you know, people were talking about my past. I said, let them talk. If they have nothing new to talk about, that's good, because all they talking about is your past. And, you know, we updating and we getting better and stuff like this, you know what I'm saying? But just know that God is going to work some things out. It might not feel like it, but you got to trust God past what you can see and past what it looks like, because I might see what happened. You might be like, you know what? I saw what happened, but what did God say? Fact, that happened. But the truth is, God gonna work it out to my good. See, there's a difference between truth and facts. You know, facts is, yeah, I might not feel well, but the truth is, I am healed. So when you pray, you know, it says that we can lay hands on the sick and they shall recover. So there's two ways that we can get healed. We can get healed instantly, or we can recover. So just know that God is going to do some new things. Just expect greatness and just say it. Say it. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. And you can be going through and still have the favor of God on your life. David had the same thing, and he had to encourage himself in the Lord. 1 Samuel 30:6. You know what I'm saying? You be like, really? Is it, you know, saying, am I blessed? Because that's what we look at. Am I blessed, God? Look at what's happening. Man, God is going to do some new things. And trust me, I'm leaving you with this. God is going to give you double for your trouble. You could take that to the bank. Take what you need. I appreciate everybody look at these videos, even if you don't comment. I appreciate it even if you pray for me and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I thank y'all just for even being here, because there's a need that God is doing when he has me do these things, and the confirmation and stuff. I appreciate every one of y'all. Love y'all. God bless.